Fans should definitely be excited about this Oregon Duck football team, but what they may not know is that some players are trading in their pair of cleats for a paintbrush. The Oregon Ducks are once again the outright Pac-12 champion after defeating the Stanford Cardinal in a dominating performance tonight, 89-56. Now, let's give credit where credit is due. That Oregon State defense did struggle early on, but quickly fixed those problems. But there are two things to watch out for tonight if either one of these teams want to get a victory. For Oregon, it's going to be how they contain Zach Moss and the rushing attack of the Utes. There are over 20,000 international athletes currently playing in the NCAA. But the question is how do you get them to play in buildings like this one at Matthew Knight Arena? Keeping things in the basketball realm, the hope for a #1 seed in the March Madness tournament is not done just yet for the Oregon women's basketball team. For the first time this summer, Oregon football put on the pads, laid 2 tackling dummies on the ground, and lined up 2 players opposite of each other and got to the hitting. And as we all know, that's where the fun really begins. Kicking things over to Oregon football, the Ducks are just 5 days away from their rematch of the 2011 BCS championship game. Yeah, Andrew, Oregon got exactly what they needed tonight, a statement win against a hungry Wolfpack team. How does this sound to you? 11 touchdowns by 11 different receivers, and it was all led by star quarterback Justin Herbert. 310 passing yards along with 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers looked like child's play for the senior quarterback who was coming off, well, only an okay performance by some standards against Auburn last weekend, but it also helps when you've got a solid defense behind your back like he does. 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and only 6 points allowed for the Oregon defense tonight. Kayvon Thibodeau, welcome to your first game at Autzen Stadium as an Oregon Duck. And to put the cherry on the top, Oregon tied a stadium record of 77 points. Now Oregon has Montana coming up next weekend before they get a chance of revenge against Stanford the following weekend. But for now, at Autzen Stadium, I'm Brett Taylor, KZI 9 Sports. Oregon baseball may have been in the dumps 2 weeks ago when they started the season 0-4, but since then, the team has been on fire, getting 7 wins. Yeah, you heard me right, 7 wins in a row, and are looking to extend that to 8 when they take on the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Now, 4 out of those 7 wins came just this past weekend against the Milwaukee Panthers, who fell to 1-11 for the season. Looks can be deceiving, though, because the first game of the series was epic, with the Ducks and Panthers dueling it out into extra innings, but in the bottom of the 11th, senior Gabe Matthews crushed a 2-run bomber to right field and got a little whipped cream pie to the face. Always a great way to end the night. I mean, come on, who doesn't like whipped cream? This is Ronica Stone.
That was over.
And she's a dominant force for the Oregon Duck volleyball team, racking up kill after kill after kill. But what many people don't know about Stone is her double life as a student athlete. Stone wakes up every morning at 7 a.m. before heading over to Matthew Knight Arena at 8. Stretching begins at 8:15, working out at 9, stretch again at 10, and then practices until 11:30. The rest of her day is consumed with classes and studying before finally making her way home. But it doesn't end there.
I find myself sitting in my room thinking about my sport and watching film about my sport, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all of this homework.
And she's not the only one dealing with these problems. University of Oregon tennis player Julia Shett not only manages her time between tennis and school, but also singing.
It's not easy. You know, you don't really have free time. And when I do have free time, you don't express that to other people as free time because that's like the time you get to breathe.
College athletes spend 37 to 52 hours per week in their sport. Add another 30 hours to that, and you've got yourself a typical week. Learning specialists here at the JQuA who help athletes with their studies understand some of their struggles.
I think the most common complaint that I hear is that they're tired. I think they have such tight schedules, and they're having to squeeze in their workouts, and they've got class, and then they've got team meetings. They don't have very much time.
It's definitely been hard trying to deal with everything, but I think what's most important to me, I have it on my wall in my room. It's do not be shaped by this world. And even though things are going wrong around me, or going right, but whatever it may be, what's important is trying to just stay me.
I'm Brett Taylor, Oregon News. Jaz Shelley is one of 6 international athletes playing for the Oregon women's basketball team in 2019. Originally from Mo, Australia, Jaz played professionally for her home country during high school, but towards graduation, she had to make a choice.
In Australia, we had 2 pathways, so we can either play professionally straight away, or the people that maybe aren't to that level would probably come over here and they get the education paid for.
She chose the former. Division I and II universities have been seeing a steady increase of international students coming to the U.S. to play sports. But why UO?
I think it's such a big family atmosphere and everyone wants you to do well, everyone's there for you no matter what.
There are over 20,000 international athletes currently playing in the NCAA. But the question is how do you get them to play in buildings like this one at Matthew Knight Arena? Assistant head coach Xavier Lopez was a former basketball player for Spain and came to the U.S. to get an education when he was younger. Knowing the struggles of being away from home, Lopez and the staff have tried to bring something new to help with the recruiting process.
I think it just translates for when other kids come and visit and they get to hang out with our players. They feel that family atmosphere and environment and how great of a kids they are, and they want to be part of it.
Everyone wants each other to be lifted and to play together, which is really good. And it doesn't make you miss home as much. Like, I miss my family and stuff, but this is my second family. It's my family away from my family.
3, 1, 2, 3. Family.
Reporting for Oregon News, I'm Brett Taylor. Julia Shedd is part of the University of Oregon tennis team, but what you may not know is she packs one hell of a voice.
And I'm on a track that I can't get off of, even though.
But singing didn't come into Julia's life till much later. At a young age, everything was about tennis.
I just remember waking up in the middle of the night, like an epiphany almost. I was like, I need to play tennis. And so I called my mom and she's like, what? Like, it's late, Jules, I'm asleep. And I'm like, I just need you to remember to get me a tennis lesson when I get back home.
Life was good for a while until she suffered an ACL tear 2 weeks after signing her letter of intent to Oregon. A full year of life without tennis. So what did she do?
So I was like, well, what else can I do? What else am I good at that could unite people and empower and inspire, whatever. I thought about it for a while, and then I was like, well, I like writing songs. Like, maybe that could be a thing that I try.
And it fit perfectly like the guitar in her lap. Julia's published 8 songs since her injury and is currently working on more. But why does she continue?
I think it's just her joy. I think that's her happy place. I think it's her creative outlet. I think inherently she's a creative person.
Julia may still not know what lies after college, but what she does know is her end goal in life and in music.
It gives me a chance to make other people better. And I like that. It gives me like a sense of purpose.
Reporting with Duck TV Sports, I'm Brett Taylor.